Jalen Brunson has had one of the most surprising breakthroughs in recent history, but if you ask some players, they knew this was coming, while others still doubt whether Brunson can be a lead guard on a championship team. Let's start with someone who thinks Brunson is Hall of Fame bound.
Yeah, great scorer, got the confidence. That's his franchise, so they all there to support him and put him in best position that he can to be, Hall of Fame player by the end of his career the way he's playing up there.
Jalen Brunson has truly been a revelation with the New York Knicks. When he was first signed by the organization, Knicks fans thought they were getting a competent point guard, but not much else. But they ended up getting a star in the making. He has been so great that there are few people like Stephen A. Smith who think Brunson should be in the MVP conversation. This is what Stephen A. had to say.
Jalen Brunson has been sensational. He's literally a league MVP candidate. Literally a league MVP candidate. And I think you got to give credit where credit is due. And I got news for you. With Embiid out and no longer scheduled to be eligible for league MVP honors, if the New York Knicks end up with a top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, Jalen Brunson is going to be my league MVP.
Despite getting MVP buzz from the likes of Stephen A., Brunson was snubbed from all the All-Star starters list. After the starters were announced, it seemed as if the entire NBA community was rallying behind Brunson and making a case for why he should have been starting over Damian Lillard. One superstar who was in Brunson's corner was none other than LeBron James. LeBron gave credit to Brunson's elite play and said he was beyond an all-star. This is what King James had to say.
Obviously, Jalen is playing at a more than an all-star level this year, so we know he's the head of the snake, but we just tried to wear him down throughout the fourth quarter and get rebounds, because I believe they're second or first in the last 12 games in offensive rebounding too, so you got to do a little bit of both.
Another player who is in awe of what Brunson has been doing is Charles Barkley. If you know Chuck, he is not one to give credit too quickly. He likes to see a star perform at a high level for a long time before he backs them, so it sounds as if Brunson has made the cut. This is what Sir Charles had to say.
I would have loved to see Jalen Brunson be a starter. I said this last year. I can't believe what a great player he's turned into. When he went to the Knicks last year, I was like, that's a good signing. It's one of the best signings I've ever seen for a free agent. Nobody knew he was going to be that good.
But not everyone is so enamored by Brunson's elite play. The reality is that Brunson is a smaller guard, despite him dominating in the paint as if he was 6'8". But due to his smaller stature, some media members believe Brunson can't be the best player on a championship team. At least that's what Becky Hammon believes. This is what she had to say.
If your best player is small, you're not winning. John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, you could go down the list. Steph Curry is the only
but he's not that small. He's not that small. He's like 6'3".
But also, though, I mean, he's the greatest shooter to ever walk the planet. He's in an outlier.
Now, many have since come to disagree with Becky, and Brunson's elite play continues to prove her wrong. Another media member who took some shots at Jalen Brunson was Candace Parker. She said that Brunson was unable to elevate his game in the playoffs, which makes her hesitant to believe that the Knicks can make a deep run. This is what the WNBA legend had to say.
As a number 1 option last year in the playoffs, great first round, second round not so much.
However, after that clip went viral, Knicks fans were quick to point out that Brunson went from averaging 24-4-4 in the first round of the playoffs to 31-6-5 in the second, disproving what Candace said about him. Now, not many people saw this type of superstar leap coming from Brunson, but one person who believed in him was his former teammate, Luka Doncic. Luka saw Brunson put in the work day in and day out and knew he was going to be special, which was why he was extremely vexed when the Mavs let Brunson walk for nothing. This is what Luka had to say.
Oh, this guy's amazing. But just starting the first we got together, like the way he worked out every day, coming back in the afternoon, it was just amazing to play with that guy.
I watched him as a competitor, and I was his teammate. I think that was one of the things that stuck out with me was how serious he takes his craft.
Despite having one of the deepest bags in the NBA, Brunson has yet to reach that household name status. Gilbert Arenas believes the reason for that is simply because Brunson doesn't have that name power. Instead of superstar status, Gil rather compared Brunson to Isaiah Thomas. This is what Agent Zero had to say.
Is it time to start considering Brunson as elite point guard in this league?
No, he's elite. His name is just not elite, right? His game, he reminds me of Isaiah Thomas that Boston year, right? Where he is the motor of the team. He is the team, but the name don't match the game. Right?
Now, name power or not, Brunson has been an absolute baller. His play has been so good that Richard Jefferson believes that Brunson has elevated himself beyond all-star level and should be in all NBA talks. Now that is quite the leap from someone who was just thought to be a competent guard. This is what RJ had to say.
Brunson is now in a space where you're like, oh no, he is an all-star. Is he an all-NBA? Is he going to crack that stuff? Right now, at this point in time, I think he's an all-NBA player. If the all-NBA ballots were to be given out right now, to me, I think he has a very good chance at all-NBA. What he's doing late game, the Knicks won 14 games. I think it's either their first or second most amount of wins that they've ever had in a single month.
Now, if you didn't see this star leap coming from Brunson, we don't blame you. Plenty of people missed the genius of Brunson during his college years and his early days in the NBA. And someone else who also missed the Brunson hype train is Tim Legler, who has since done his best to give credit where credit is due. This is what Legler had to say about Brunson.
Are you surprised at all at the Knicks' success?
To this extent, yes, and I've said this all year. Well, since about midseason, I missed by as wide a degree as any player I've covered in my career as a broadcaster, the ceiling for a player as I have with Jalen Brunson.
So it seems that the entire Mavs organization also missed Brunson's ceiling as they let him walk without getting anything back from him. In fact, the money Brunson was looking for would have made it perhaps the biggest steal in NBA history. But if you ask Jason Kidd, who is the Mavs head coach, he was hoping to get Brunson paid more, so then keep him as a member of the Mavs. This is what Kidd had to say.
I know Cuban doesn't like this, but I love when I can help people get paid. And I'll tell a player first day of camp, hey, tell me what you want. Well, everybody wants shots, everybody wants minutes, but that's not the truth. They want to get paid and they want to play. Cool, I can help you do that.
Yeah, right.
Well, needless to say, Brunson definitely got paid. Even after that big contract, many view him to be the most underpaid star in the league because of how great he has been. So sooner rather than later, another big contract is headed Brunson's way as he continues to elevate his game and make the Knicks a title contender once more.